I have learned by experience as well that it is not only the family that prays together that stays together, it's also the family that plays together that stays together. So we had lots of things that bonded us together, and
The Live TV show is the first ever dynamic audience participatory show from Anambra State to the rest of the world. And just when we thought enough is being done already, the Live TV show birthed another baby, conVALsations!
Learn more about love.
The program was tagged conVALsation. You get me? What love really means.
This is just the first time it's happening. There will be many other editions of conVALsations as God gives us life.
Because a lot of people don't understand what love is. They think love is a feeling. Love is not a feeling.
nobody gets what he wants in life. In life, you only get what you are.
conVALsation.
I deserve to love and to be loved.
True love, actually.
Do have a fantastic time as you learn how to discover and nurture true love from the masters. Thank you so much. From your position, of course, as someone who has pastored for a long time, I want you to speak on this. A lot of times, people talk about these spouses killing each other and all, and it's as though it's a certain set of people, maybe people who are non-Christians and all. Are there people who are immune to such tendencies, or is it general?
Well, everything that revolves around the base instincts of humanity, every human being is subject to. Now, every human being is subject to seeing someone else in the sense of, no matter how beautiful a woman is, there's no guarantee that the husband to that woman is not going to see a woman that is not finer tomorrow.
Exactly.
No matter how handsome a man is, tall, dark, and handsome, it doesn't follow that his wife will not see. Of course, probably from the day he proposes and she accepts his proposal, as she goes outside, she probably sees another person that is finer. But you see, it doesn't just, when you understand this, it's not enough for you to build commitments around things that are trivialities that can change. Your wife will make you angry. Your husband will make you angry.
Given.
It's a given. There's no way, in fact, the only thing that, people speak about change being the only thing that's constant in life. There are many more things that are constant in life. Other things are constant. For example, one of the things that you find that's constant in life, Jesus spoke about it. He says it is impossible that offenses should end. Somebody would always offend you. And usually the person that is closest to you inadvertently would offend you more. You see, but if you're able to pass through that offense and build together, eventually you take another step that's higher. You see, I keep telling people that friction is inevitable in life. The reason you're wearing clean clothes today is friction. If you washed your clothes by yourself, you would have put omo, put it in the soap, soaked it inside water, and then washed. And it takes friction and water to remove the dirt. Even if you put it inside the washing machine, the friction is responsible for removing the dirt. To cook your food, you need friction. You strike the match for it to come. That's friction. It produces the fire that you used to cook. To start your car, you need friction. To drive your car, you need friction. That's why you pour engine oil to lubricate the parts so that the parts don't rub against each other and knock the engine. So friction is a given. You cannot live without it. But now one thing we must understand is that there's constructive friction and there's destructive friction. So you can decide that the friction you have with the other person can be constructive, in which case you learn from it and become a better person. On the other hand, you can also decide that it becomes destructive. At that point, you will realize that the same sun that melts the butter also hardens the clay. So whichever one you decide to, it's entirely your option.
But many times, what if on your own path you want it to be constructive? How do you then control? You're unable to control the other person's internal environment and what they reason. How do we then get on the same page? Isn't that usually
the only thing you must understand is that, you know, God gave us the ability to control every other thing apart from other human beings. The point at which you try to exert any level of control over another person becomes manipulation.
Yes.
The point at which you start, you have entered witchcraft. So the only thing you can do is change yourself. Now in life, you don't get what you want. Nobody gets what he wants in life. In life, you only get what you are. What you are is what you attract. So if you work on the inside, change your inside, the law of magnetism will cause what you are to find you. So if you work on yourself, change yourself, invariably what's going to happen is that you find that the other person begins to adjust to what you are. Now, a lady told a story. She was having a very big problem in her marriage, right? And so she went to see this marriage counselor. And she spoke with the marriage counselor, okay? And so the marriage counselor listened to her story. After listening to her story, he decided to advise her. And this was the advice he gave her. He said, when you're having a conversation with your husband and the conversation begins to get hot, take a glass of water, take a sip of water, and begin to gargle your mouth. Keep that water in your mouth for 5 minutes. And when you finish, swallow. And then the next time, he keeps on doing it again, take another one again. This time, keep it in your mouth for 10 minutes and then swallow. And it didn't make sense to the woman. But he called it water therapy.
Okay.
So she went and she did it. After 2 weeks, she came back to them and said, hey, sir, I don't know what this is about, or I don't know exactly what happened here, but my marriage has changed dramatically.
Wow.
I don't know. Please, can you explain to me what happened? What is the scientific methodology in the H2O and how it works on marriage? And the man said to her, I'll give you the scientific and all the equations involved in it and how it produced such a good marriage that you are having now. And she said she was eager to learn, and so she opened her book to start writing. And the man said, I asked you to put water in your mouth because when you have water in your mouth, you can't talk. Simple. So when the man says something in anger, if you don't respond, a cycle of anger does not build, the whole thing just ends. Psychologists will tell you there are 4 ways to handle anger. You can express anger, you can suppress anger, you can repress anger, but you can also process anger. Anybody can express anger. Somebody makes you angry, you burst, blow your lid, and then kill the spouse. Afterwards, your eyes open. So anybody can express anger. Now, repressing anger is another way people try and handle anger. You sit down on the anger, you pretend it does not exist. You pretend it doesn't exist and you're not supposed to be angry. So, but the danger about that is that if you repress anger and you cancel anger completely, eventually what's going to happen is that you become a robot. Because a person that can repress and cancel anger can cancel every other emotion. It will cancel joy, it will cancel happiness, it will cancel everything. And so you marry that kind of person, you might as well marry that lampstand or marry the fan, because it's not going to express anything.
Wow.
Now, if you suppress anger, you keep on letting it pile and pile and pile and pile until one day it explodes like a volcano. At which point the husband, maybe the wife is the one suppressing the anger, and the wife simply asks, maybe, how is the soup? And the man says, it looks like it's a bit salty. And then she explodes. What are you saying? Are you now saying I don't know how to cook? This is how you insulted me 10 years ago. And you said this 10 years ago. I remember what you said last week when I wore the red dress. You said the dress looked like my house girl's dress. And she begins to pull out things and you're wondering, where is this coming from? It was suppressed. The fact that the volcano has not erupted doesn't mean that the volcano does not exist. It's there. But the best way to handle anger is to process it. You take it, sit down, find out what you can learn from it. Process it, and don't speak when you are angry. Because when you speak those words, you can't take them back. And by the time you finish processing it, what's going to happen is that it becomes constructive. When you're responding, if there's something you don't like, you put it across the right way. If it's someone you're married to, for example, you say, honey, I heard what you said concerning this. I understand this part, but I don't accept this part. And I don't think you should have responded to me or said this part. It becomes part of the conversation instead of part of the frustration. For different people, it's, some people can cool under 30 minutes. Some, it takes 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever the case is. Pick your words the right way and make sure those words don't end up causing more damage.
Then do I have to be too careful around the person I love? Shouldn't I be Raz? Shouldn't I be what people say, let me be myself? Anywhere I want to be, anything I want to say, however I want to say it to her. Because sometimes I know of someone who would say, you don't take a joke. Because he or she may have said something and the other person took it maybe the wrong way. So am I supposed to still calculate my words like Pastor or check which would, what do I say or should I just say it anyhow? Words, use of words.
It's a marriage. Marriage is understanding. If you cannot play with your wife, or if you cannot play with your husband, it's not working. See, when I meet my wife, I say anything. I go ahead and say anything to her. It's not that I'm going to call her names, but you have to be free with your wife. You have to be free with your husband. You are playmates.
Explain to us better.
What I mean is, if I'm sitting with my wife now, some men or some husband doesn't play with their wives. They don't have the time. You want to know the kind of play. You see, everything is not joke. Let me tell you one thing. When I am with my wife now, she's sitting here, even without doing anything, not only on bed, I play with her. When you see children playing, the same way they play, we play.
I know you're a very busy man. I have heard on several occasions where you've had to leave your wife in bed in the nights and you're out there fighting fire. How does that rub off on her, and how are you able to keep the flame of love on in your marriage, even when you're such a busy man?
Yeah, that you're a busy man.
Does it tell on your marriage?
In fact, let me be honest with us. It has not been easy for my wife. Sometimes leaving her by 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to go outside there. Sometimes we may be on bed together. You know what I mean? For married men and ladies. At the same time, the call will come. Yeah. The distress call will come. You don't have an alternative. I have to leave. Out there, I'm going.
So she has never said, why don't you put up your phone? No.
In fact, my phone, my emergency line on my personal phone is always there. Sometimes she is the one that will pick the emergency call. I say, please, there's fire somewhere. Because after working for the whole day, sometimes I'll get tired. I may sleep off. She will be the one to pick the call and say, it's emergency line, because she knows the emergency line. We try as much as, because it's not easy for her. You try as much as you can to make
To
it
make it
up.
up, okay.
That is how you have to keep that marriage. Because I've had a lot of calls, even in the social media, people will say, this job, I'll never allow my man to do this job of firefighter. You are not the one to decide. If you happen to get married to a firefighter tomorrow, there's something will happen, you may not have anything to do
Okay,
to that.
thank you so much, Fire Chief. Now, Pastor, ministry is an entirely different world. How busy does it get? Of course, I know you've had to move. There was a time you were in Oka, and all those movements, did it affect your love?
First of all, I have an incredibly busy life, and because at every point in time there is 3 different jobs I have, 3 different things I'm doing. Apart from being a pastor and having the responsibility of churches in Anambra State, for example.
All churches under you?
Yes.
Wow.
I have a responsibility also in the ministry. I am also in charge of some of our churches in Dominion City outside Nigeria, in at least 1 or 2 churches in the United States. Then I run my own consulting firm, and I have a lot of clients that demand attention. And then obviously as senior special assistant to the governor on youth mobilization. So my plate is always full. But you see, one thing that I have come to learn to do is not to major on the minors and minor on the majors. Not everything that is important is urgent, and not everything that is urgent is important. What is urgent is something that must be done now. If it is not done now, it cannot be done again. But everything that must be done now is not necessarily important. For example, if any of you here had a classmate you haven't seen since you finished primary school, maybe, I don't know how old several of you are, maybe 20 years ago, you finished primary school 20 years ago, you haven't seen your classmates since 20 years, maybe because as soon as she finished her primary school, she relocated to the United Kingdom or to the USA. And you heard from your classmate, another neutral classmate of yours, that she is in Oka, and she will be traveling tomorrow morning to Lagos to travel back to the US. Will seeing her today be urgent? What do you think?
Sure.
I'm asking the audience, what would you think? It will be urgent, because if you don't see her now, you probably won't see her again for maybe another 20 years. The question is this, would it be important? Because by the time you meet her, she might not even remember you. It's not as though you meet her, she will count a suitcase of dollars and hand over to you. She might not even know who you are. So now, there is what we call the time flow quadrant. What is in quadrant 1, urgent and important, are things you must do. Like I, in my schedule, I'm very, very busy. Very busy. My wife knows that. But what is in quadrant 1 is urgent and important are things I do myself, and I do them immediately. Things in quadrant 2, important and urgent, are things that I do myself, but I keep them to be done later.
Okay.
Things in quadrant 3, urgent but not important, are things I delegate to others to do for me. They must be done now, but I mustn't be the one to do them. I delegate to others. Things in quadrant 4, not urgent, not important, are things I throw away. Like I don't have to attend every event. I don't have to talk to every person. I don't have to be everywhere. So what is urgent and what is important? For example, being with my wife, talking with my wife is urgent and important. And so what I need to do is, even if I'm not with her at any point in time, she knows where I am at every point in time. I'm talking with her on the phone, telling her, I just left here, I'm heading here. She's going anywhere, she calls me, she tells me she just left here, she's going in. I travel, whether I'm in Nigeria or not, I'm talking with her.
So in the midst of your busy life, she's
Yes.
your priority?
Yes, yes. God is my priority.
Okay.
Afterwards, after him.
She is
Yes.
your priority as well.
And so
Wow.
you need to. There's something I have come to understand. You see, this whole world, the world we live in, God created. But the question is this: how did God create it? God created this world through communication. He spoke, "Let there be light," and there was light. Anything that is worthwhile you're trying to build can only be built and sustained through communication. So my marriage is built through communication. If it's going to be sustained and it's going to be good, you must keep on talking.
So, in essence, let's also get this into it, because this phone issue, use of phones, couples and all that, your wife must not go to your phone. How does it play out in your relationship with your wife?
It's accountability is one of your biggest weapons. If you ever want to accomplish anything in life, being accountable is one of the biggest things, because you see, nobody has what it takes. No human being has what it takes, has all it takes to help himself. It's not possible. You know, no matter how good a surgeon you are, if you are going to have an appendectomy, you want to remove your appendix, you're going to have to get another doctor to do that. You can't operate on yourself. You know, so the implication is this: whatever it's going to cost you to succeed, you're going to have another person around you to help you, especially someone that means well for you. So my biggest accountability partner is my wife. She looks at my phone, she has my password, she reads, there are certain messages I get from certain people that I should not get. She will know. You understand? A lady might just send me something and it might just be, I just see it like, you know, she's just being nice. She will tell me, "Nice fire." There's no nice nothing. Which nice? That this is a serpent. She doesn't say that about every other person, you know? But that's my protection, you know?
Your protection?
Yes, it's my protection.
He says that's his protection.
Yes, because she tells me, "Be careful about this person." You understand? And I'm telling her, leave that story. There's nothing here. And then it has happened in the past. I discovered she was right in that area. She's not right in everything. But I also know I'm not right in everything. And I learned a while ago, somebody was talking to both of us, and he said to us, the moment you are married, you have lost the right to view anything through only one perspective. You have no right to view anything only through your lenses. The moment you get married, you must see through your wife's lenses, you must see through your husband's lenses. Perfect.
Wow. Let's get Agbali's thoughts on this, because you made mention of something. You said that during those moments when there's an emergency call and your wife comes with your phone, she doesn't take your personal calls. Does it mean she's restricted?
No. In fact, that is just, let me say, a respect. Let's say she goes to my phone, she answers my call. If she doesn't want to do that, all she will do, please, you have a call. But if she wants to pick it, nothing stops her. It's only people that have a skeleton that always restrict their partners from picking calls. You see, some time ago, last month, I posted something in Facebook. It caused a lot of problems. In fact, people said that I was shaking the table. I said, let this table break. She's your wife. I'm saying it anywhere. She's your wife. You don't have any restriction. My phones, I have 3 phones that are there. If I'm going to take my bath, my phone is there. It can ring. If she wants to pick it, she will pick it. Let me tell you one thing, just like Pastor said, your wife is your what? Your protection. There was Sunday, in fact, that would have been a serious problem if my wife didn't go to my phone to check the messages, because she sensed something. I would have fallen into deep
Temptation.
problem. Yes.
Wow.
But because she did that, at the initial time I couldn't understand it, but it was later she saved me. That is to say, she's also my protector. It's at this point that people started telling me, probably because of my position, that I should have a password to all my phones. Because maybe the contacts and every other thing there. That password, once I put the password there, once I come back, I'm going to charge agility. This is the password. So that at any time, it's not just, what are we hiding? That is the question. What are we really hiding?
Somebody said his account detail.
Forget
his
it.
Bank apps and all.
Forget it.
So that the woman wouldn't know how
Your
much
wife
he
cannot
has.
just come. The app there, if you are using any app, of course, if she wants to go there, maybe she must have the password. Wives doesn't do that, except if you are doing something funny or hidden somewhere. That is when they can do that. Even my password to my ATM, my wife knows it. What are you really hiding? This is your next of kin. To many, your wife is your next of kin or your husband is your next of kin. So why are you hiding all those things for?
I've had a case of a woman who always accesses her husband's phone so she can transfer funds from the man's account to hers.
That is to say there is something wrong somewhere. They need to settle that. Yeah. They are not friendly. They are no longer a best of friends. They have problem between them, and there's no trust between them. They've already started to have problem, marital problems. That is when you can see that. Okay, ask yourself this question. When they got married newly, that wife, was she doing that?
For sponsorship inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0818 621 8194. Visit the Light TV show on Facebook. This event is proudly supported by Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, the Destination Bar and Restaurant, Oka, Frank Stars Classic School, Amobia, ASM Natural Hair Salon, Oka, Don Ritz Hotel, Oka, Royal Sound Entertainment World, Oka.
The Light TV show is the first ever dynamic audience participatory show from Anambra State to the rest of the world. And just when we thought enough is being done already, the Light TV show birthed another baby, conVALsations!
When I was in the university in Unizik, I knew that she was a great presenter on TV. And later, I began to hear that she dances. So, when did that start?
There was dance before there was radio, actually.
For real?
Yes, and there was even dance while there was Look and Pass. But they were two different people that never disturbed each other. So when Look and Pass decided to go on relegation, the dance part kind of took over because I got inspired by a couple of dance entrepreneurs and I understood that my talent could actually yield me so much money. So I felt my broadcasting career could wait a bit while I invest some time into the dance, and then I could comfortably walk into the broadcasting scene when I feel I've achieved that dream, yes.
Just for those who are wondering what she's talking about, she is the popular Look and Pass on radio on Unizik 94.1 FM. And she's the one who's about to dance for us. Now, tell us, why dance of all things? You know, it's not all the rage, not a lot of people. I don't know. Do we have any other fire dancer in the house? Yeah. We do. But I'm sure you can't compete with that. Taking up dance professionally.
Oh, yes.
Why?
Well, I'd say it's the best decision I've made in my whole life. Yes, because it led to my self-discovery, and it has actualized every single dream I had as a child. Beginning from, I started dancing when I was about 9, 10 years old, and it was as a result of two things. The first thing was abnormality resulting from a fire accident as a toddler, because that made my legs kind of funny, and then really funny, yes. So I could do funny things with my legs by the time the injury healed. And then I went for a birthday party I think parents should take their children to birthday parties often. And there was this dancing competition. There was a girl, Ezinne. I don't know where she is, but I know her name and I know what she was wearing that day. She beat me very well with dance.
Dance competition.
Yes. I still remember the song she used to beat me. You know, there was this song, Maria, Maria. Yes. She beat me. She went down and twisted everything. And I was just there looking with my big ball gown.
As looky.
Yes, it was a horrible experience. And her uncles came and we sprayed money and they spun her in the air. And everybody was cheering, woo! I came there without my mother, so nobody was there to console me. I cried and went home. So I decided to go home and package. So this girl, I must beat her. Because I was a very bright child in school. I was first position from primary 1 to SS3. I was always first. I'm very competitive naturally. So, but this girl beat me in something as simple as body movement. So I said no. And I went to research for Shakira, research for Beyonce, research for all the belly dancers and everybody.
More like a combo.
Oh my God. And then I went for her younger sister's birthday party. And I beat her. I removed her from the competition in the first stage.
And what did the uncles do?
They didn't even know I went. I snuck away from
I
catechism
mean her own
classes.
uncles.
Oh, her uncles. They didn't even notice her now. You need to see my packaging. I was so ready. You know we are going for war and your enemy doesn't even know you are coming. I was so ready. I beat her. She left in the first round. And while I was learning, I always love to share. So my cousins too were learning with me. So they were like my backup. So we removed that girl early. At a point, it was just me and my cousins that were now battling for the first place. So it became a trend in my area as a child. They bring me out in parties just for me to come and dance, even if I don't know who is celebrating.
So how
Like that.
lucrative is this?
Yes, so that's what I'm coming
to the
to.
bank?
So I've been dancing all my life. But when I became a dance entrepreneur was when I met someone called Marvel. She signed me as my manager and then she said, I could take you to schools for you to teach children how to dance and then I pay you monthly. Then I was in year 2 in the university. I studied microbiology in Unizik. So we started. I took permission from my HOD and I started going for classes every Wednesdays and Fridays. Once it's 2 p.m. I'm out of school. Any quiz I had at that time was excused. Except examinations, of course, and assignments which I had to do. So that was where it started. So by the time I was done with the university, I told you, man, you have to set me free now. My boy has to be settled, and she settled me. So I started my own company. I started from Media House of Creativity. I got it registered. I had kids that were members, and then we started dancing. And then I started having schools that knew my worth. Some schools started paying a lot of money for dance. It became a thing. I became a brand. And then
So in this Oka, you've been able to make dance.
Oka and beyond. Oka, Onitsha, Asaba, Enugu, Nnewi.